Hey you guys, I'm back, and yes, 2 videos in like one night. I'm in the same freaking blue shirt. I promise you, there'll be more to come. Wardrobe change. However, right now we're about to talk about a marinara sauce that I made for a client not too long ago. Super simple, super easy, and I figured why not share it with all of you. So what we have here are some tomato innards. I made some baked stuffed tomatoes with couscous, wild rice, and I want to say I used spinach. I'll have another video another time to show you all that recipe, but basically when you scoop out your tomatoes, don't throw your tomato innards away, because you can use it instead of using canned tomatoes. You can use this for your simple marinara sauce. I also have here some basil. I had a huge pack of basil and decided why not chop it up. I didn't mince it and get it really fine because I'm going to use an immersion blender to get that all zhushed up in the pot. I've got 3 nice cloves of garlic here. Gonna put those in whole. I have 1 whole onion. Gonna stick that in the pot, and then I've got some red pepper flakes. And also, before I forget, I like to use Peg's salt. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by Peg's. They're a local brand, but hey, Peg's, I want to give you a shout out because I use this on almost everything. It is amazing. So we're going to take a little bit of Peg's, and throw it in there with our red pepper flakes. Of course, you're going to taste everything. Of course, you're going to taste your food as you go, and taste your sauce as you go, and season it to your liking. But that's pretty much all I need, really, because later I'm going to add in some Beyond Meats, and we're actually going to have a meat sauce. You can have this plain. You can keep the meat out, or if you have a meat substitute, you can keep that out. I personally like just the plain marinara, but I know the family likes a little texture in their food, so gonna add that Beyond Meat. As a matter of fact, Beyond Meat, have it here. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. All right, that'll go in another time. Right now we're just gonna focus on the marinara, and of course I could always walk you through how to cook that up, the Beyond Meat in a pan, but I think this will be more than enough for you. So what we're gonna do right now, got my pot right here. I'm going to take my tomatoes, put them in just like this. But Kay, your tomatoes are chunky. I know, because we're going to simmer these down, and I'm actually going to use a hand immersion blender and get those into smaller pieces. We're going to put our onion just like that. Say what? We're going to take all of this in there like this. Seasonings here. No milk. The milk is for the other recipe. Multitasking. Multitasking. We're actually going to put a little water in this. Just a little bit. Because even though there's juice from the tomatoes, we're going to add just a little bit more to coat the bottom of the pan. All you have to do here, start out medium-high heat. Wait till it begins to simmer, a little bubble at the bottom, and then you're gonna put your top on it, and then you're gonna let that go for about 30 minutes, and we'll be back. Make sure you take your marinara sauce, put it on your range, and you're going to simmer that bad boy for 30 to 45 minutes, at least until the liquid from the tomato begins to bubble up to the top. But you don't want to boil it, you want to simmer it and get those flavors nice and melded together. And then we're gonna take our hand immersion blender and zhush it all up. Hey, we're back again, everybody, and this is our simple marinara sauce here. The tomatoes actually have simmered down, and then the basil's in here too. If you like fresh basil at the end, that's always good for aromatics, and you know, it won't be dark green like this. But we're about to mix it all up with my immersion blender here. The onions that were inside are right here, so we're going to repurpose those for something else later. Leilani definitely wants to eat them, but they have lots of flavor from simmering in with the tomatoes, the basil, and the garlic. So I also made some Beyond Meat ground beef, and I've crumbled that up, and we're going to actually add that to the sauce once we zhuzh it all up. So my immersion blender here, and we're going to just that smells delicious. Homemade marinara. Doesn't get much better than that. We're going to go ahead and add our Beyond Meats. As you can see here, I browned it really nice. I'm going to add it in here. I'm not going to put it back on the stove. The sauce is already very hot. So we're just going to let these flavors get incorporated just like that. Now these were organic fresh tomatoes, so obviously not as red as your canned sauce or your sauce in a jar. Ooh, nice little chunky tomato there. I'm gonna mash it up a little bit. So we're going to let this cool. And then once it's all cool, I'm gonna put it in the fridge and just let those seasons marinate while in the refrigerator. And then we can just pop it right on the stove and reheat it for a pasta dish. You can use this for a bake. You can also boil some spaghetti. You can boil any type of pasta you like and drop it into your pot of marinara. Look at that. Delicious, delicious. And it's nice and thick. It'll thicken a little bit more once it cools and it settles. But you've got simple, easy, flavorful pasta sauce. Because it's no longer marinara. We've put the crumbles in there. You want to taste it, Leilani?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Could you give me a tasting spoon, please?
Yes. Stand by. Switch here. Dun, 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 dun. Is she gonna try it? Hot. How's it taste?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being Olive Garden, 10 being God level flavors, it's an 11.
Thank you for that review, Leilani. No, she's not biased at all because her mom prepared it. But anyway.
It just tastes that darn good.
All right. Well, there you go, you guys. Thank you so much for being in my kitchen with my sous chef here and videographer. We're really my videographer today. But yeah, simple marinara, and it doesn't get much better than that. So live life beyond the salad bowl. Join us next time on Plant-Based Eats with Chef K and my sous chef, soon to be sous chef, Leilani.
Toodles!
Bye-bye.